And we'll see how long this lasts because, again, my stupid computer said can't do stream right now. So I had to restart the whole thing again. And now it's going good, which is unfortunate because I had a good picture of for my thumbnail with my cat Pepper on my shoulders. It would have been a great thumbnail, but didn't happen, so we'll just go with this. Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of Conversations with Myself. This is chapter 14, a big, bold fall movie preview. This is my annual fall movie preview. I think I've been doing this for the past 12 years that I've been doing this show. I've been doing a fall movie preview, except I think I folded it into my regular show before I started this other show, Conversations with Myself, which I use just for this and a few other things as well. It's been a while since I had one of these. My last one was the Grievance Show, which actually got a ton of likes and views, which was really cool. So maybe I need to do another one of those. But yeah, so it is September 1st, 3:09 p.m. It is Labor Day. It's a Monday. I am off work, but that also means within 13 and a half hours, I have to wake up and go to fucking work again for the rest of the week. Now, it's only for a 4-day weekend, or 4-day week. And then another weekend, and then a full week, and then another weekend where I think my family's going to be gone, so I'll be by myself. And then another week after that, and then halfway through that week will be the beginning of fall. And also football starts on Sunday, so that's pretty good too. So we got all kinds of fun stuff happening. So fall is here. It's officially meteorological autumn, so I'm ecstatic because that's my favorite season. So we made it, and we'll see what happens. So for now, for those who don't know, every year I try to do a summer movie preview and a fall movie preview. I might throw a spring movie preview in there too, just to see if there's enough movies that I want to see. This year alone has been an insane amount of movies I've seen in the movie theater, and there's still a bunch that I want to go see. And with my family being away, I might be able to do a better job of seeing more. But yeah, let's take a look at how many I actually saw in the movie theater this year. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I've seen 11 movies in the movie theater this year, which is insane for me because I only get to maybe 3 or 4, but 11 this year is absolutely insanity. So I'm very glad that I've been able to do that. So yeah, last time I watched a movie was August 20th. Actually, that was Shin Godzilla. So there's some good stuff on here coming up. So I might have to check periodically for some casting and stuff like that. But basically just go down date by date and talk about the movies that are coming out, and we'll see what comes up. All right, here we go. Starting off September 5th, this upcoming Friday, the big one is going to be The Conjuring Last Rites. It's the final movie in the Conjuring saga. So I'm assuming that that'll probably be number 1 this week. The Baltimoreans, which is an indie film, which is not going to do anything, but is going to be in movie theaters, was filmed here in Baltimore and did get some film festival love, but it is out in movies. It'll be out in movie theaters on Friday, so that's pretty interesting. But it was filmed here in Baltimore, so that's pretty cool. And then re-releases are the trend, and they've been doing pretty good. The Jaws re-release came out this past weekend, made $8.1 million, which is insane for the amount of, for a movie that's been out for 50 years. So re-releases are here to stay. We have the Hamilton re-release, which basically is during COVID, right around July 4th. Disney Plus streamed a filmed version of the original cast of Hamilton doing one of their shows on Broadway. So basically, someone filmed one of the live Broadway shows with the original cast, and then made it into a movie and released it on streaming. That was how I first saw it, because I've never seen it in the movie never seen it in a theater. But I don't think I have, but did see the movie, so that was good. So that's what's coming up. Oh, there's the kitty. And he's going to climb back up on me again. There he is. Hi, Pep. So, how are you? September 12th, we have Downton Abbey, the grand finale, the final Downton Abbey. Finally, we're going to get no more Downton Abbey. This is it. This is the end. No more shows, no more movies, anything like that. But that's fine. You know, it's had a long run. It's very popular. Yes, buddy, I know. So that's pretty good. The Long Walk, which is based on a Stephen King novella, directed by Francis Lawrence, who did a couple of the Hunger Games movies. And the basic premise behind that is a bunch of boys have to walk a long distance in order, I guess, to make a fortune or something like that. And they are being followed by the military, whose only rule is that you cannot go under 3 miles per hour. If you do, and you're walking, if you do, you get 3 warnings. And on the 3rd warning, if you do not comply, you will be shot and killed. You cannot stop to sleep. You cannot stop to eat. You cannot stop to go to the bathroom. You have to just keep walking and walking. So it's a definite, like, Squid Game sort of horror sort of film, but it was written way before Squid Game was. And I mentioned this on my show last night, but Lionsgate, who is the company that's doing the film, they are doing a special screening where you have nothing but what do you call them? Shit, I can't. My mind is a blank now. Treadmills, that's what it is, where there's nothing but treadmills in the movie theater, and everybody who's watching the movie has to walk on the treadmill and stay at 3 miles per hour or more. And if you go under that, you will be removed from the theater and you cannot return to watch the end of the movie. So that's kind of interesting. So that's coming up. This one might surprise a lot of people. Demon Slayer, Infinity Castle. Demon Slayer is one of the more popular mangas out there. The Infinity Castle is one of the big movies that is only available on IMAX, which is interesting. So that is coming up here on the 12th as well. And Spinal Tap 2, The End Continues. Haven't heard much about it. Saw a trailer for it, but other than that, it's probably more just for the fans of Spinal Tap. It's probably not going to make a lot of money, but that's all it is. September 19th has the first movie that I'm really, really interested in watching in the movie theater, so I might actually watch it that weekend. Maybe not, because I think my family's away the 20th, but maybe if it's still around the next weekend, I probably will be. A Big, Bold, Beautiful Journey with Margot Robbie and Colin Farrell is a mystical romance about 2 strangers who meet and go out into the woods and find strange doors, which allows them to enter into their past to try to solve issues or see what's making them each other tick. It's a wild romance type of film, kind of an original looking thing. Looks really cool to me, honestly. The horror film Him, which is based about, I think, from what I've gathered from it, Jordan Peele is producing it, but he's not directing it. And Sean Wayans actually is doing a rare dramatic role. I think it's basically about an athlete who is pushed to his limits and uses strange things to, what are you doing? Strange ways to give him the strength and power, stuff like that. It might be a body horror film also. I have not been enjoying the trailers myself, but we'll see what happens. I'm not a horror fan anyway. And this one actually looks pretty decent too. Apollo 13, for its anniversary, because it came out in 95, so that was 30 years ago, will be released on IMAX this weekend, September 19th. So that might be interesting to see that movie in IMAX. So I might actually might not wait to go see that stuff. I might just have to go ahead and see that as well. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Peppers. Silly boy. All right, so that leads us to September 26th. One Battle After Another. Paul Thomas Anderson's first film in a long time with Leonardo DiCaprio. Not getting as much big buzz as Paul Thomas Anderson's films usually do. So we'll see how that all works out. But it has been his first film in a long time. The Strangers, Chapter 2, Rennie Harlan's wannabe trilogy for this, basically a remake of a house invasion movie that came out a few years ago with Liv Tyler. So he remade it. The first one came out last year and did decent enough that they greenlit the the second film of the trilogy. This isn't helping, Pep. Hopefully if this will do well for them too. And if it does, they'll be able to end their trilogy. They are smart in releasing it the week before Halloween. So that way you can get some of the Halloween horror people who want to get into sort of these types of films as well. Eleanor the Great finally is released wide. That is Scarlett Johansson's directorial debut. So check that out. And then I'm also going to talk about movies that aren't going to be in movie theaters, but are also, pretty big looking movies or interesting looking movies that are going to be on streaming. All of You is one of those. Apple Plus is releasing this. Brett Goldstein and Imogen Poots are starring as best friends forever, when in this reality a machine is created that allows you to discover who your soulmate is. And the two of them, even though they're BFFs, they do have this sort of romantic entanglement between them, but it turns out that they're not each other's soulmates, but they don't care because they sort of love each other that way. It looks like an interesting romantic film, but it's on Apple Plus, so I won't be able to see it because I don't have Apple TV Plus, and they don't really release it on anything, on video or anything like that. So when the run is done. October 1st brings Play Dirty, which is Shane Black's new action film with Mark Wahlberg. It's going to show up on Prime, not in movie theaters. Just looks like a typical Shane Black sort of violent, sort of action comedy sort of thing that he's well known for. October 3rd, day before my wedding anniversary, we have the Casper re-release, which is another re-release I would love to see in movie theaters. The Smashing Machine, which has debuted at the Venice Film Festival this weekend, which is The Rock in a rare dramatic role. And they've given him a different look, so it doesn't quite look like the Rock. And Emily Blunt's in it also. It's based on a true story about a boxer. So that's getting maybe some potential Oscar buzz for The Rock and maybe Emily Blunt as well. Good Boy, which is probably going to be, to me, I think is going to be one of the surprise hits of the summer, or the fall, I should say, excuse me, because Good Boy is a horror film that comes out in October from the perspective of a dog. Originally, it was going to be a limited release, but when they released the trailer, it got such a huge viral explosion. They said, okay, maybe there's something out there for people. So no big stars in it, and it's a horror film from the viewpoint of the dog, because everybody just loves the dog and want to make sure the dog survives. So I'm telling you, I think that's going to be a surprise hit, actually. So if it's not, it's not. But mark my words, I think it's actually going to be a big surprise hit for people. So Good Boy will be out October 3rd. Another re-release. I have not sugar-coated my hatred of the Avatar sagas, and James Cameron is re-releasing Avatar Way of Water, the second Avatar movie, which only came out about 2 years ago, to get a little extra money to keep cementing his spot as the highest-grossing director of all time, which he did after Avengers Endgame beat him and became the highest grossing movie of all time. He re-released Avatar, the original one, and was able to jump over Endgame for number one. Endgame still holds on number 2, and Avatar Way of Water is number 3. So I think with this re-release, he's going to try to jump over Endgame, because he has this insane need to be the top director of all time, highest grossing thing. But the thing is, the Avatar movies are stupid. Nobody says they're their favorite films. Nobody rewatches them. Nobody quotes them. Nobody has a favorite character, could name a character in them. I guess they just like the spectacle, and the fact that they both made such huge amounts of monies is absolutely mind-boggling to me. So we'll see what happens. October 10th sees the wide release of Anemone, which is written by Daniel Day-Lewis and his son, and it brought Daniel Day-Lewis out of retirement. He had retired from acting, but then he and his son came up with this story. His son is directing it, and he and Daniel Day and his son wrote the screenplay. It had an interesting trailer, kind of a visually sort of thing, and Sean Bean is in it as well, so kind of interesting. Kiss of the Spider Woman is a remake. I think it's a musical. Has J-Lo in it, and I forget the Spanish actor who's in it, but he's pretty well known. Also, Diego Garcia, Diego Luna, something like that. Yes, Diego Luna, maybe. But yeah, the remake of Kiss of the Spider Woman is due out on October 10th as well. Roof Man, which has Channing Tatum and Kirsten Dunst, about a guy who I think he's either. I saw the trailer. It's been a while since I see the trailer, but he's either a criminal or an eyewitness or something, and he's hiding out in a toy store, and he lives there during or a Target or store or something like that. Lives there and strikes up a relationship with Kirsten Dunst, who works there also, and ends up getting a job there as well. I'm putting it on a list because the trailer was really, really interesting, and I'm trying to remember the concept of it, but it's a neat looking film, and it's intriguing to me to look at that. The Woman in Cabin 10 is dropping on Netflix with Keira Knightley. I saw the trailer for that also. They just dropped that. That looks really intense and really interesting. So, and then Tron Ares, the third Tron movie, is getting a lot of bad buzz because Jared Leto is in it. The Tron movies tend to do pretty good, but it's getting bad buzz because Jared Leto's in it, but it's also getting a lot of people upset because, what is that band? Shit, I need to look this up. I just had it here. Tron Ares soundtrack. 9 Inch Nails, that's right. 9 Inch Nails is doing the score for Tron Ares. But a lot of people who I've been seeing who said, I love the Tron movies, but I'm not going to see a third one because of Jared Leto. That's intriguing. So that'll be an interesting thing to watch. Because it's only been a few people online who are talking about that, and Tron Ares is one of those movies that appears to be lined up to be in a good spot. It's a well-known brand. It's has a Fortnite crossover. It's got cool special effects, and it's got 9 Inch Nails doing the music. So it could do well, but at the same time, I see people saying I was excited for it, but then I saw Jared Leto's in it, so I was like, nah, I'm not going to do that. So we'll see about that. And Jeff Bridges does return. He was in the original Tron, showed up in the sequel as well, and now makes an appearance in the third one too. October 17th sees the wider release of After the Hunt, which is Julia Roberts and Andrew. Spider-Man. Oh my God. Why is my brain stupid? Why does this do it? Garfield, yeah, Andrew Garfield. Julia Roberts and Andrew Garfield, and the woman from The Bear, Oye Kube or something like that, in a big high stakes drama sort of thing about like sexual harassment and stuff like that. We also get The Black Phone 2, which is a sequel to the Joe Hill adaptation of Joe Hill's short story. The original Black Phone did really, really well, and Scott Derrickson directed it. Ethan Hawke played a serial killer who kidnapped kids and locked this one kid in the basement, and there was a black phone in there, and he was getting calls from the serial killer's previous victims, ghosts telling him how to escape. It did well enough that they released a sequel, which is funny because Joe Hill has not written a sequel to it. So this is just all Scott Derrickson and Cargill. Also, I can't remember his first name, who's his constant companion as well when it comes to writing, Robert C. Cargill. They wrote a sequel, which turns Ethan Hawke's serial killer into a Freddy Krueger type of, hey, you killed me, but I'm back to haunt you, and you can't kill me because I'm a supernatural demon sort of thing. So I don't know if it's going to do as well. Looks like it's set around winter also. So we'll see how that goes. It's Halloween though. It's literally 2 weeks before Halloween. It's a horror film. The first one did pretty good. It's got Ethan Hawke in it, and it's a kind of a well-known brand, so it should do okay. Pets on a Train, an animated film, sort of a take on the Snakes on a Train sort of thing, but it's about a bunch of pets on a train, apparently. Good Fortune, Keanu Reeves shows up as an angel. Seth Rogen's in it as well, and there's another actor, and I can't think of right now, but Keanu Reeves is an angel who wants to live a day on Earth, so he inhabits this other person's body and screws up the guy's life sort of thing. So that's due October 17th. It's a comedy, so that's kind of interesting to see that. So Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein has been shown already at one of the Venice Film Festivals. It got decent reviews. It's not a spectacular, not saying it's one of his better movie, Guillermo del Toro's better movies. It has right now, and as again, I'm not a big fan of Rotten Tomatoes, but right now it's at 85% on Rotten Tomatoes. Whereas there are other movies ahead of it with the same amount of criticisms that are at 100% that are better movies than this Frankenstein. But in order to get it, it included into Oscar nominations, the new rule now is if you're a streamer, you have to release the movie in movie theaters for about a week or two. And then it'll be eligible for Oscar nominations. So Guillermo del Toro is doing that. Plus, October 17th, again, 2 weeks before Halloween, it's a perfect time to release a monster film. Jacob Elordi and Mia Goth also star in it with Oscar Isaac. So we'll see what happens with that. This one actually sounds cute. October 24th is weird because it's a week before Halloween and there's no horror movies out. Instead, we get a rom-com and a biopic. The biopic is Springsteen, Deliver Me From Nowhere, which is the biopic about, obviously, Bruce Springsteen, starring the guy from The Bear. And it's already that's one that's 100% above Frankenstein as well. That was debuted at the Venice Film Festival also, and it's got a better rating on Rotten Tomatoes than Frankenstein does, with about the same amount of reviews. That one is being set up also for Oscar run as well, so we'll see that coming up too. But it is, if you're a fan of Bruce Springsteen, it's a biopic of Bruce Springsteen. That's all I really need to know about it, really. And then Regretting You is based on a Colleen Hoover book. Colleen Hoover has got 3 adaptations of her stuff coming between now and next year. And got a decent cast. One of the ones next year has Anne Hathaway in it. The one this year, Regretting You, has McKenna Grace, who's been in the background for a lot. Her most famous role was in Ghostbusters Afterlife. And going like that, she plays the granddaughter of Egon Spengler. But she's also a pop star, and she's also been a child actress who has played the younger version of Brie Larson, Margot Robbie, and I feel like she was in The Haunting of Hill House. She had a decent size role in that. And she was in that movie with Chris Evans when she was a child star. She was a child prodigy, and Chris Evans was her uncle, who was her guardian. So she's in so McKenna Grace is set to break open here eventually. She's been just sort of background, sort of supporting role. Regretting You might actually be her Anyone But You, which, if those remember that, Sydney Sweeney, who is a hot, voluptuous, sexy goddess of an actress, despite her politics. Never really, took off as well until she did the romantic comedy Anyone But You, which became a huge hit last year, I think, or 2 years ago. And to give credit to Sydney, she's changing up her entourage. She's doing a biopic. She's doing horror films. She's doing adaptation, her own adaptation of a book, which we're going to talk about a little later in the show, and so on and so forth. So she's doing her stuff. And so I think McKenna Grace she's already proven that she's a pretty damn good actress, and she needs a sort of breakout role. And I think Regretting You, which isn't necessarily a romantic comedy, but sort of a romantic comedy drama film, interesting premise. Turns out that, McKenna Grace has a very close relationship with her aunt, and even better than with her mom. And then she has a good relationship with her dad, but not her uncle, sort of thing. And then her aunt and her dad die in a car accident. And we discover that the aunt and her, or the mom and the uncle have been having sort of an affair on the side. And at the same time, she's going through her own sexual awakening with a young boy, I think named Dylan, actually, which is really funny, played by McKenna Grace's real life boyfriend, which is really interesting too, to have that sort of casting in there as well, because he's an actor too. So it's kind of neat to see all that. So that actually is a movie, another one that I wouldn't mind checking out myself. I'm a romantic guy. I like that type of stuff. That movie has the potential to skyrocket McKenna Grace into the stratosphere, but again, it's an odd choice to have it airing 7 days before Halloween, which is weird anyway. I'm still flabbergasted by the fact that movies don't take advantage of spooky season. Yeah, we have, let's take a look at it, because let me tell you, there's nothing spooky coming up on Halloween, which is on a Friday this year. But we have Good Boy coming at the beginning of October, Casper coming at the beginning of October, which is a re-release anyway. And then Black Phone 2. I mean, that's it. And Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein. I mean, that's it. That's the list. It makes no sense why you're not inundating October with horror films. Now, I know obviously you don't want to do one, you don't want to just, have hundreds of them, but have at least a decent one, at least at the end, from the end of September to like Halloween, have at least one a week come out, because people will go see the movie when it comes out that weekend. I mean, if you look at the way the numbers are done now, people look at the opening weekend more than the other weekends. And that means everybody wants to go out and see now in the age of social media, they want to go see it opening weekend so they're not spoiled by it. And also want to have, hey, I saw this and you didn't, or see for themselves if they like it. And then they can go see it opening weekend, and then the next weekend they can go see the next one and the next one, because spooky season, people want to go see scary movies. That's the whole point. You see all these reels, all these videos of people who are setting up their home theaters showing spooky movies for Halloween with their spooky tree, stuff like that. I mean, yeah, you keep doing that, that's fine. But I think movie theaters should delve into that a little bit more and start releasing more kind of horror content during Halloween. Now, I know, horror is an all year sort of thing, and that's fine. Keep doing that. But Five Nights at Freddy coming out in December, what the frick is that? And we'll talk about that in a little bit also. That would be an ideal movie to come out on Halloween, or if you want to do it the weekend before, the 24th. That would have been like the perfect weekend for it to come out, because I guarantee you it's probably going to make more, would have made more then than it will in December. It's still going to make money, but it's not, it's after spooky season, and you're in Christmas season at that moment. Netflix, though, however, is producing a movie that is apparently going to be released in theaters on Wednesday, October 29th. So I guess this is kind of what I was talking about. It's an animated, like Halloween sort of film called Stitchhead, which the blurb for the description of it is, what if Frankenstein met Monsters University sort of thing, or Monsters Inc. So I haven't seen much about that. I haven't seen a trailer for it. Just saw the first picture. I didn't even know it was a thing. So, and it is a Netflix thing, but it will be coming out in theaters on Wednesday, October 29th. And that's kind of smart also, because Halloween being on a Friday, most people are probably not going to go to the movie theaters on Friday night unless you had a decent horror film. But they don't. So Halloween is on a Friday this year. So what's going to happen is you have the whole weekend to celebrate Halloween if you want to. There's going to be Halloween parties. There's going to be a lot of trick-or-treating. Trick-or-treaters have been few and far between since COVID for the past few years. I mean, we've had our moments, but it's also been a period where it hasn't been on a weekend or whatever. We're getting to that point now. It's on a Friday this year. It's on a Saturday next year. And then after that, and then it's on a Sunday in 2027. So the next 3 years, you've got Halloween on the weekend. And that's a big thing also, because then you can do a whole big Halloween, all day sort of Halloween thing. Now, Friday, you really can't because people still have to work and go to school. But Friday night, you're going to want to go to a party, or you're going to go trick-or-treating or whatever. You're not going to want to go to the movie theater because there's no horror movie out that you want to check out. Instead, you're getting, which is a brilliant movie, but I find the release date kind of odd. The re-release of Back to the Future for the 40th anniversary is coming out October 31st, and that's only for the weekend, I think. I was like, that doesn't make sense. You should probably push it to the next weekend, November 7th, because if you remember in 1955, Marty is in 1955 in November. It would make more sense not to release it on Halloween, but the week after on the 7th. But I digress. I don't run that stuff. But I want to see Back to the Future in the movie theaters as released, but I'm not going to see it on Halloween night. Fuck that. I'll see it Saturday or Sunday, if it's even going to be out on the whole weekend. I think it will be. I think if they're stupid, they're just going to do a one night only. If you were going to do a one night only, you would re-release Halloween on Halloween night as a one night only. That would be a big party thing, but no, they're not doing that. We also get Lesbian Space Princess, an anime film I don't know anything about, also, again, being put on Halloween. It's just basically they're saying, no one's going to come to movie theaters anyway, so let's just dump this movie that we don't know what to do with on there as well. So I kind of hope it does well. It's an animated film, so we'll see how well that goes. And then Begonia, which is Varlos Lanthimos' new film with Emma Stone, is a scary film. I saw the trailer for it. It's basically the premise is Emma Stone, Yorgos Lanthimos. Emma Stone plays one of the richest CEOs in the country, and she's also a woman. And Jesse Plemons plays a conspiracy-minded guy who believes that she is an alien from outer space, and he needs to prove it that she is there to lead an invasion of Earth, and he's going to try to stop it. And so he ends up kidnapping this CEO, shaves her head, and mentally tortures her. But she's strong as nails too, so she fights back at it. But it's a disturbing film. If you look at the trailer, it looks very disturbing, and it might fit for a Halloween, but it's not really a horror film. But it's just I'm at a loss, but still, Begonia is probably going to be up there. I don't think it's going to get as much Oscar love as they think it's going to, but that's also a potential Oscar one too. And again, the trailer is very unnerving, and I think that's the point of it. So whatever. So now we jump into November. November 7th, we have Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein, after its run in movie theaters, is now going to be available on Netflix. So if you don't want to go see the movie theaters, it will be available on Netflix on November 7th. Predator Badlands, from the director of Prey, actually looks pretty decent. It's a different perspective of the Predator movie, where it's going to be from the perspective of a young predator in a post-apocalyptic world who teams up with an android to take out a demonic creature that's destroying his hometown, his planet. This is kind of interesting. Die My Love is a hugely serious drama with Robert Pattinson and Jennifer Lawrence. Oscar bait again, but it's going to be one of these really depressing sort of dramatic sort of things. And Nuremberg, the movie based on the Nuremberg trials with some big stars in it. I couldn't tell you who they are at the top of my head right now, but that is also due out on November 7th. November 14th, The Running Man with Glenn Powell, directed by Edgar Wright, which was supposed to come out on November 7th, but they moved it to the 14th. Is a adaptation of a Stephen King short story when he was writing as Richard Bachman. It's also a remake. Arnold Schwarzenegger and Yaphet Kotto were in the original, and Len Dawson, Rich Dawson. Len Dawson's the Kansas City Chief. Rich Dawson was also in it, but it's This version of The Running Man is a lot less cheesy, is less cheesier than the 1980s version with Arnold Schwarzenegger, and a bit more along the lines, I think, of what Stephen King was aiming for. But basically, it's another one of these things like sort of a Squid Game sort of thing, again, ahead of its time, because this came out before Squid Game did. And it sort of was what was sort of like King's specialty when he was Bachman, is these type of films, where in this case, it's there's a 24-hour game show called The Running Man, where someone gets selected and has to survive for 2 days, 4 days, a week, something like that, and is constantly being followed by cameras and being hunted down by people. And if he survives, he wins a shit ton of money, but all the people that are hunting him down and killing and are shoot to kill sort of things, if they kill him, they will win the money instead. So it becomes a sort of big thing, and it's going to span the entirety of this city where he lives in. He's trying to make some money for his family, stuff like that. So this one is another one that looked like I might go to the movie theater to see. It looks intriguing. The last few trailers have been pretty cool. It's got Josh Brolin in it also, and Coleman. I forget his first name. The really good black actor in there as well. He's in it as well. So we got some good cast members in it, and it's directed by Edgar Wright. Now You See Me, Now You Don't is the third Now You See Me movie about a group of thieves, I guess, kind of, who use magic to to do their crimes. Woody Harrelson, Mark Ruffalo, I can't even think of the main character's name. Jesse Eisenberg, a few other people, Morgan Freeman, just a pretty decent sized cast in there, and some interesting magic stuff like that. It's a little unbelievable at certain times what they get away with and what they do, but you're not there for fun. You're there you're not for serious stuff. You're there for like a fun little thing. So that is coming out as well. Jay Kelly is going to be released in theaters. That's George Clooney and Adam Sandler, directed by Noah Baumbach. Greta Gerwig is also in it, who's Noah Baumbach's wife. Getting some good buzz as well. Also debuted at the Venice Film Festival to some good things. Nouvelle Vague is going to be in theaters also. That's Richard Linklater's new, or is it Netflix? I'm sorry, it's going to be on Netflix. Nouvelle Vague is his black and white sort of homage to French cinema. I'm a Linklater fan, so that's something that I might check out on Netflix. Comes out that day. And Osgood Perkins is one of those directors that people seem to like, but kind of don't also. His new film, Keeper, with Tatiana Maslany, is set to debut on November 14th. Again, that's a horror film. You should have released October 24th or on Halloween or whatever. Why are you releasing it after spooky season? Doesn't make any sense to me. November 21st, we have probably end up being, unfortunately, probably the second highest grossing film of the season. And Wicked for Good, the sequel to Wicked. This one should get a ton more Oscar love and could potentially win some because it's basically a part two. Wicked is one storyline, and you couldn't film the whole thing in one 4-hour movie. You had to do more than that. So they split it in half, sort of similar to what they did with the Lord of the Rings, which was 3 movies. It got Oscar love, but it didn't win anything until Return of the King, which all the awards that it won was for the culmination of the entire saga and not just for Return of the King, because honestly, Return of the King is probably the weakest of the 3 Lord of the Rings films, in my humble opinion. But it won all those Oscars, but in the end, it was more along the lines of that was for the whole saga and not just that movie. And that's what I think a lot of things are going to happen with Wicked for Good. So I guarantee you that's November 21st. It's the Friday before Thanksgiving. So you'll get a huge opening weekend, and then you'll have the whole family stuff coming the week after during the 4-day Thanksgiving Day weekend. So you got that going on. And you also have Rental Family, which really looks adorable, and is one of those that could be another sleeper, but is one of those films that is intriguing to me. Brendan Fraser plays a down on his luck actor who's at the end of his rope sort of thing, and he's hired in Japan to be part of a reality show called Rental Family, where a Japanese family rents a American for some reason. I don't know the exact reason why, but it actually is not that crazy. I think there are shows like that do things like that happen. But of course, what's going to happen is they change his life, he changes their life, he becomes an important part of the family, and it becomes more than being an acting job. It becomes more of a family sort of situation. So it looks like a cute little fun family film. Then we have Wednesday before Thanksgiving, we have Zootopia 2, which is going to make some good money, probably be the third highest grossing movie of the season. The first Zootopia has a lot of love to it. It's been a while since the first one, so the second one came out. And then we have Eternity, which to me, I saw the trailer for that. This looks like another interesting romantic in sort of type of supernatural romantic film in the essence of a big, bold, beautiful journey. Eternity has Elizabeth Olsen in it, and basically it takes place entirely in the afterlife, and it kind of answers the question is, because I'm sure you've had this question before. You're married. You've been married for, I don't know, 20 some years. You have kids, family together, whatever. And then your wife dies, or your husband, your partner dies. Let's just say it. So your partner dies. And after a period of mourning, you want to get back out into the relationship world. You don't have to. Some people don't, but a lot of people like to try to get back into the world after about a 5 to 10 year sort of mourning period. And you meet someone else who you love just as much as your first partner. And then you die, and then your other partner die, and you go to the afterlife. So who do you spend time with? Because and let's say you get married and you have kids with the second husband or partner, I should say. What happens then? Sort of what goes on between, hypothetically, if you're supposed to spend time with your loved ones, which one are you going to spend time with? You have both your loved ones with you. So that's kind of a weird sort of thing. So I think that's kind of what, from what I gather from the trailer, this sort of romantic supernatural film based in the afterlife is about, where you get to choose your afterlife. There's a period, I think, after you die where, and it's another intriguing look at heaven, where, people think of heaven as you just go up there and everything's beautiful and glorious and wonderful, and it's the best of both worlds and all, and both the best of everything. And you're just chilling with everybody up there. This movie instead postulates that there is a potential where you get to choose where your final resting place is, what your final happy, good life, good place is. And you have like a certain amount of time to figure it out. So then you have to figure out, which of your partners do you go with? Do you go with either of your partners? Do you go with your cat instead? Just like this guy right here. So it's kind of an interesting movie, and it's interesting that they're releasing it on Thanksgiving. I don't think it's going to make a lot of money, but it's an intriguing idea, and I think it might be, I guess maybe they're trying to counter the other movies that are out there. So if you can't get in to see a Zootopia or a Wicked, hey, why don't you check out Eternity as well, or Rental Family? So we'll see what happens, but that's another one that's kind of intriguing. December 1st finds the arrival of Troll 2 on Netflix. The original Troll was an Icelandic, Nordic sort of film about a giant troll. It's like a kaiju almost, but he's a giant troll that's in the Nordic lands, and they have to take care of him. And it did really well on Netflix that they made a sequel. Next up, that Friday, December 5th, we have Five Nights at Freddy 2, which is going to make a lot of money, don't get me wrong, but you would have made a lot more if you released it on the 24th or the 17th or the 31st of October. Come on, man. December 5th, really? I guess they figured they made $60 million when they released it December, last year or 2 years ago, whatever, when the first one came out. But still, it's like, it's the most obvious Halloween movie to release, and you're releasing it December 5th. Again, it's going to make money, but you probably could have made a whole shit ton more if you would take it during, Halloween. And I know about this, and none of the movies come out December 5th, is Merrily We Roll Along, which is based on a musical. It's a film version of the musical. I thought I'd heard of the musical before, but I really didn't know much. I didn't know much about it, but it did sound familiar to me. They made a movie of it, and I think the only one, Paul Mescal, is the only one who's the most famous person on there. But it's Richard Linklater directed a musical based on an actual musical that's been on Broadway before. And it's a movie version of that no one, I don't think, has ever made a version of this film. So that's coming out December 5th in movie theaters. I haven't seen a damn thing about that movie. And then Jay Kelly is coming to Netflix now. So if you don't want to see it in the movie theaters, you can actually check it out on Netflix on December 5th. December 12th has Paul Mescal again in Hamnet, which is getting a lot of good views. Again, the Venice Film Festival debuted there, got a lot of good ratings up there. It's Chloe Zhao wrote and directed it. And Hamnet is kind of a biopic, but not really. It's set during Shakespearean time. Paul Mescal plays William Shakespeare, and he and his wife have a son named Hamnet. Yes, I know, it sounds like Hamlet. And his son dies at a younger age, and he's got to sort of, they've got to sort of deal with the tragedy like that. And I think it's what, from what I saw the trailer, it's what influences Shakespeare to write Hamlet, that kind of thing. So we'll see. But that's getting a lot of buzz right now. And that's December 12th. So we'll probably see that in the talk for the Oscars as well. See, now they got this right. Yes, it's a horror film, but this horror film would not fit in Halloween spooky season. This horror film fits in Christmas season because it's the remake of Silent Night, Deadly Night, which back in the 80s, after the success of Halloween and Friday the 13th and Nightmare on Elm Street, everybody came up with a serial killer, supernatural sort of super killer thing, and there was a guy dressed up as Santa Claus who killed people, similar to like a Freddy or a Jason or whatever. Didn't become as popular because by that point, those were the big ones. But there's still enough people. It spun off a bunch of sequels as well, and so now they're doing a remake of it, which is kind of releasing it December 12th. This is my daughter's birthday, actually, which is funny because it fits. It's a Christmas horror movie. So yeah, put it there. Here's another horror movie that could have been released in October. Now, this is a little bit more unusual. It's called Dust Bunny. And the premise of that is a little girl goes to her neighbors, I think Sigourney Weaver's in it, and asks them to help fight the monster under her bed, but there's something a little more sinister going on there. So that's kind of an intriguing idea. So we'll see about that. Ella McCary. James L. Brooks' new film. Don't know much about it, but I did see a trailer for it. It just looks like typical sort of drama from James L. Brooks. Now, this one I thought was going to have a theatrical release, and it still might, but it wasn't listed in my theatrical stuff. So this might pop up sometime in the next couple months when Netflix decides what they want to do with it. This is a great film. It's Knives Out 3, Wake Up Dead Man. I called it Knives Out 3 because that way you'll know what it's about. But Ryan Johnson, who directed, does not want. It's got the same character played by James Bond. God damn it! Oh man, I hate my memory. Daniel Craig as Benoit Blanc. He's the only guy who's like the constant in that he's a Sherlock Holmes type of detective who does unusual ways of solving crimes. And each movie has been a little bit different, and this is similar to that too. So this is the third one of those Benoit Blanc adventures. Stellar cast. Netflix was the one that Knives Out originally came out in movie theaters, did very well. And then Knives Out bought the rights to 2 and 3, but I think they released the second Knives Out in movie theaters for like a week, where it made a shit ton of money. And then they said, we're not going to leave it out anymore. And then they put it on Netflix. And the people kind of want that to happen again, because we want to try to get Oscar noms for this. If not that, this year is the beginning of the Oscar for Best Cast. This is fucking cast, man. It's just this is your cast of Wake Up Dead Man. Daniel Craig, Kaylee Spaney, Jeremy Renner, Mila Kunis, Andrew Scott, Glenn Close, Thomas Hayden Church, Daryl McCormack, Josh O'Connor, Josh Brolin, Kerry Washington. And that's it right now. But that's a stacked cast. And that would probably, I'm looking at all this other storylines, that would probably win, or at least be nominated for Best Cast. That's a fucking outstanding stacked cast. And it's an interesting idea for a movie. It's a little bit, it's a case that Benoit has to solve that should not been able to occur, the way the murder was done, stuff like that. So it seems really cool. I wasn't a big fan of Glass Onion, which was the second one. I was a big fan. It was good. It had its moments. Not nearly as good as the original Knives Out. This one sounds outstanding, and I really want to see it. So that's coming on Netflix on my daughter's birthday, December 12th. She will be starting her finals that week, so she will not be able to watch it till she comes back from college on the 19th-ish. So, but as of now, it's the only date we have in the system now. Netflix may acquiesce in order to try to get into the Oscar. You need to do it. Release it in movie theaters for more than a fucking week. I think you could make a shit ton of money if you release it for at least a 2-week window. I think you make a shit ton of money. And I think you'll get nominated for Best Cast. I honestly think you're going to, if you release it. Because as I said, what else is there? What other good cast do you see? Wicked, maybe. That's another good one as well. Maybe After the Hunt, because you got some good actors in there too. Maybe Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein as well. And they're releasing it, though, so they will have a shot at it. Do the right thing, Netflix. I know it's your gem and stuff like that, because it had a ton of stream views. Release it like in not November or even October, for that matter. I don't give a fuck. Just release it. Josh O'Connor's hot now from Sinners. He's supposedly he's one of the main characters, along with Daniel Craig's Benoit Blanc. The others are just the suspects who are there and have moments, but in every movie, there's one other actor that Daniel Craig works across from for the majority of the film, and Josh O'Connor from Sinners is that person. So definitely worth it. So Netflix, get off your ass and put it in November. It's tough because you don't want to put it too close to the 12th. Maybe October would be better. Put it in on the 24th. I love Regretting You and the Springsteen movie, but I think if you throw yourself in October 24th for about a week or two, I think you're gonna get some decent. Fucking do it on Halloween. I don't care. That's a good one too. So we'll see about that. But Wake Up Dead Man is officially going to be on Netflix on December 12th. December 19th, we have. Unfortunately, what is going to be the biggest movie of the year. I already talked briefly about it. Avatar, Fire and Ash. The third Avatar movie will be coming out, and it will make a shit ton of money, as it always does. However, my prediction of this is the original Avatar came out in like 2009. It made billions of dollars. The sequel didn't come out till like 2022, 2020. I think it was 2023, actually. Came out in 2023. So roughly about 14 years later. So it made close to $1 billion. And now this one's coming out 2 years later. My opinion is I don't think it's hitting $1 billion. It's going to get close. I don't think it's going to be one of the highest grossing films of all time. It's the third Avatar movie. Yes, it's visually stunning, blah, 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 blah. But because you had such the big window, that's why so many people went back to see it. It's something they've never seen before. But then you just saw the sequel 2 years ago, and they're re-releasing the fucking thing earlier in the fall. So I don't think it's going to make the top 5 highest grossing movies of all time, might make the top 10, might take top 20 at least. I don't think it's going to make $1 billion. I think it's going to do decent because it is Avatar, has the name, but I don't think it's hitting the $1 billion to $2 billion mark. I'm probably going to be wrong, but it's December 19th is when it comes out. We also get, oh God, my mind is the SpongeBob SquarePants movie. The newest movie coming out there, Search for SquarePants, is coming out. Bradley Cooper, that's right. Bradley Cooper's next directorial debut is This Thing On, is also coming out on December 19th about stand-up comedy. And finally, December 25th on Christmas Day, 4 interesting movies. Of the 4, I've only seen a preview of one of them or even heard information about one of them, but I know them. The one I know about is Marty Supreme, which is Timothée Chalamet's attempt to get another Oscar nomination for Best Actor. Don't know much about the storyline, but it is due out on December 25th. And then the next 3 are all decent in their own rights, but I have not seen anything about them in a while. I'm assuming that'll change within the next couple months. First up, we have The Housemaid, which is the Sydney Sweeney adaptation with Amanda Seyfried of a novel. So that's coming up here December 25th as well. Some Song Sung Blue, which is Hugh Jackman and I forget who the actress is like that, who are a member of a Neil Diamond tribute band who do a really, really good job, and some sort of situation happens, whatever. That's set to come out December 25th also. And then the meta sequel Anaconda with Jack Black and Paul Rudd, which is a remake of the horror film, but with a Scream meta sort of aspect to it. I don't know what that means. That was what they were talking about when they first. Have not seen a damn thing about it since. Paul Rudd is currently on the set of Doomsday, filming that for next year, which will be the biggest movie of next year. Which, yes, that's what we'll be talking about this time 1 year from now when I do my fall movie preview for 2026. Avengers Doomsday will be on the list of movies that will be coming out next fall. Be in December. I think it will be taking the spot that Avatar Fire and Ash is taking now. So there's your list. There might have been a few I missed. There's some that I know I missed that have been getting some good reviews on the indie circuit and the festival circuit. And some of these movies might pop up out of nowhere and get like Oscar nominations and other award nominations as well. I tried to give a good wide range of stuff about what we've got coming. It's a decent season, but still kind of lacking in something. Couldn't tell you what it is. But there are some decent things due up here soon. So that's it. From now to Christmas, those are the movies we'll be looking at. Ones I potentially look at that I'm going to go see in the movie theater, probably A Big, Bold, Beautiful Journey. I want to see Apollo 13 in IMAX. I want to see the Casper re-release. Good Boy's intriguing to me, as is Roofman, but I don't think I'm going to see those. I might wait for those to come out later. Frankenstein, I think I'll wait till that comes on to Netflix to watch that. Regretting You, I want to check that out. Back to the Future, I want to see that re-release in the movie theaters. I'm on the fence with Begonia. I've never really seen any of Yorgos's other films, but this one just looks really unnerving and intriguing enough. Predator Badlands is another one I might potentially see in the movie theater. Up there with The Running Man, I'm definitely going to go see in the movie theater. Wicked for Good, it all depends if I watch Wicked within the next couple of weeks. I have not seen the movie version of it yet. I've seen it on stage, but I haven't seen the movie version of it yet. Maybe one of these weekends where I'm home alone, which September's, I got 2 of them. I've got the 14th and the 26th. They're like the 2 weekends where I'm going to be home alone. Not the 14th, the 13th and the 26th. I'm sorry, the 12th and 26th are both weekends that I will be home alone. So maybe one of those weekends I will check out Wicked, and then maybe I'll go see the sequel of that. I kind of want to see Rental Family also. It's up there with that, Begonia and Roofman and stuff like that. Eternity, I'm also kind of intrigued, is on that list sort of as well, maybe. I'll check that out. Wake Up Dead Man, if they release that in movie theaters, I might actually go see that in movie theaters before it comes out on Netflix. And that's really about it. Maybe Anaconda if it looks pretty decent. So that's it. That's my run. I wanted to just take it over an hour. So that will be it for this fall preview. So it is Labor Day. We're now 4:09, 12 and a half hours from now. I will be getting up to go to work. So that's all the time I have left for this 3-day weekend, which again has gone by like that. Next week, I'll be doing my regular show. Dylan knows. I do have a couple of list shows I've got in the works right now. So we'll probably be doing a couple of those down here this month as well. And we'll see what happens. So thanks for watching, guys. I hope we gave you a good list of some movies to check out this year or for the rest of this year. There's some intriguing stuff, but there's also some stuff like, you can probably skip it. But we shall see. But there we go. Thanks for watching.